I changed up my altar for May. My altar is evolving once again. And I think that what I'm learning is it can and should change from time to time. As I've said, recently had a working, I felt I should give Oshun back her altar space. And even though I was trying to figure out how to get Yemaya to be with her, I couldn't find enough room. Well, after making the very tiny space for Yemaya on my entertainment center, I realized I do have the room. I had taken the scarf and placed my vase on it and realized that looked like water. Now, as I've said before, I've collected many things over the years, over 14 years at least, in fact, and only recently been reconnecting to goddesses when I had my skin salon. I've always been attracted to shells, as I've just talked about in my video on Yemaya, and the ocean, of course, and water, mother of pearl, you know, anything really related to the ocean. I had chosen a blue water goblet for my initial altar that I created for my practice of magic and divination. And I'm not quite sure where to put it here, except I might put it there at night because my familiar, both of my familiars, one has passed away, love to get up on my altar and drink out of my holy water goblet, more than their own drinking bowl. So I'll have to put that there before I go to bed. So let me go over what I've done today. I've taken the blue and white scarf that I chose years ago because I love blue and sort of draped it around to connect, in a way, Yemaya and Oshun. Pretty dark here. There, you can see her better there. That's the picture I chose so far. Now this I purchased about 7 years ago. I had been wanting a water mister, and this was before I learned about essential oils and diffusers. Now this has gotten pretty cruddy, and I've had to clean it with vinegar. It's going to hopefully start misting, so there'll be a wonderful mist there. I had an interesting dream related to this before I moved out of my haunted apartment. And this showed up as a sort of spaceship, and there was a veil, which I realized later was the mist that comes from the water. But then I was riding a snake, and then I killed it. And in the dream, I heard myself say, this is the end of a myth. Now, obviously, a lot of the stories in our religion have to do with myth. And there is a goddess, I believe, in the Orisha who has a snake. And I think it might be the grandmother goddess, Nana Bakuru. And I thought that Oshun was really more of a maiden goddess, but I've heard she represents all three. So that, you know, that kind of relates to me because I'm obviously in the crone phase of my life. But I think there's times she's got aspects of the maiden to her, you know, like a young mother who has difficulty dealing with children when they misbehave. You know, I can relate to that. She represents that. And Yemaya, who I believe she turned her children over to, had a much stronger maternal instinct, which I've talked about, and probably had more knowledge and had developed the skills and abilities of dealing with children who misbehave. So she's a wonderful deity to call on for helping with motherhood, whether you're a man or a woman. So I put these little flowers in here. I mean, I showed all this in my previous video that I made earlier today, but what I didn't show was this little dolphin piece that I picked up It has like a crystal ball in the middle of it, which represents play. So Yemaya is not all serious, and discipline. It's play, childlike characteristics. So, it's all coming together for me. My connection to goddesses, not just my spirit guide, my twin soul. And then, of course, this conch shell that I bought to burn incense in. And almost everything I've acquired from either Goodwill or the dollar store. The seashells here from the dollar store. Old jewelry I never wear anymore. So here I have blue glass beads I got from the dollar store. This picture of Yemaya is from the Goddess Oracle that my friend bought me when we went to a spiritual store out of town. Until I can print off a picture of her. This vase was given to me when I opened my skin salon. And I think once this starts misting and making noise, I'm going to feel an energy from the water. So if you have a fear of candles and the fire, a glass candle is a good idea. But the energy you get from fire, you could get a different type of energy from water. I think hearing that is going to help create an energy that you need at your altar. Oh, look, it's starting to mist a little bit. And of course, I'm burning incense here to attract the spirits of Yemaya and Oshun. I took my wax pot off of here, but I'm going to put a wax stick because I have applied for a job as an esthetician. And I'm asking Oshun once again to assist me with that. I have a mirror here, which of course is very important when you are working with Oshun. It also serves as a portal. So now purple is the astral color, the opposite color of yellow. So you can use purple, and I've drawn a pentagram here, and I'll maybe put something in the middle of that like incense or another candle for Yemaya. An interesting thing is you will discover things happening at your altar eventually. And today what I found was a very thin film. Let's see if I can see it in there. Now I put sea salt in my water goblet, which I actually discovered my familiar really liked that a lot when he was having dry skin. His dry skin would get better, so anytime he had that, I'd say, drink more water, Tabby, and he would, and his dandruff would go away. So there's this little film in here, which is like plastic, and I put it in my mouth. It's waxy. I've never seen salt do this, but it's waxy. And I put it in my mouth and I tasted it, and it was like candle wax. So I think I need to burn a white candle for Yemaya. I was really thinking of blue, but I'm thinking maybe she wants me to do white. So now I have a lot of room here, obviously. I can put more things, which I'm going to put my daughter's picture up here so that I continue working blessings for her as she has moved away from me. And my lighter was going out. So I finally got it to light, and I lit a stick of incense, and then I relit this candle here because it went out. I put a little bit of money incense, and then I took these leftover gardenia candle wax, and I put one in there because it's very strong, but very sweet. And I know she would like that. So, as we constantly have needs that need to be met, right? Now I need a lighter. I mean, it's just one thing after another, right? So this is a way that we can constantly focus with the help of the deities on making sure that our daily needs are met. As you can see, I'm struggling. I've got this little thing of honey from the kitchen at the grocery store where I work part-time when I got a free meal for my dinner roll, and I gave it to Oshun. I'm happy to do that. You know, I can't always give a lot of food to deity, but if I need more bread, I'll put a piece of bread there and I'll say, I need more bread, please. I think that's wonderful, right? You know, like with Lakshmi. Lakshmi brought me a free meal. And in ancient times, that was wealth. It still is. If we don't have food and water, we die. I've said before, we can't eat quarters, nickels, dimes, pennies, and dollar bills. That's just a medium of exchange. So I bought I'm going to buy some lettuce seeds and grow some lettuce in a pot this year. I can't really bend over and have a garden in the ground anymore. But, so I mean, I still have room here for doing workings for other people, such as my daughter. I've got a picture here, and I've got a rose jar for her. I made a video on that. With the help of the healing goddesses Yemaya and Oshun. So Yemaya helps me as a mother. Once a mother, always a mother, right? And then with my work, my specialized skill, I have Oshun to help me with that and bringing money in for that. So I'm very, very blown away, actually. I never thought in a million years that I'd ever be creating a spiritual altar for myself, let alone connecting to a dead man who became my spirit guide, who was actually leading me to goddesses in dreams years ago, as I've said, when I was dressing up to be a mermaid, and we were laughing about it. And then eventually having a dream of Oshun, actually coming into my dream and showing me who she is and talking to me. And so, you know, being an empty nester and not having anyone in the house and having more quiet time, I can hear my inner voice, my inner goddesses talking to me even more. Not just my power animal, Wolf, who's a big part of me, but these other incredible energies that I'm now connecting to. And I've connected to Freya years ago in the winter, but I never had the time or the money or the space to create any type of an altar. So it's just been a process, you know, things evolving. It's kind of dark in here. Let me see. I can turn on the light. I know there's a way to turn on a light, but I don't know how to do it. Ooh, I think I just made it brighter. Oh, good. Oh gosh, this is so much better. Don't have any music, but... So Oshun's number is 5, which relates to my life path. Now Oshun's number is 8. And I can't remember what I have in my personal numerology that relates to 8. I'll have to look it up. But I know 8's a good power number for sure. It's good for material things, power, authority. Her day is Saturday, so that to me relates to ancestor workings and even justice. And then, yeah, Mother of Pearl, I've always loved. I wore that when I had a skinny neck. So, and there's my blue table. I hope you like this, as I now have a new altar set up for May. Please share below what you think, and if you've done anything similar, or you're going to, and I'll see you on the next video.